1, listen. Steps 2, don't interrupt. Step 3, the safety of the victim and the evidence is always the goal. Step 4, don't talk about yourself. Step 5, that's right, we're on to step 5. Never make the victim go alone to any services. Never. People don't want to deal with disabled people. Anybody who won't let them be talked over needs to be talked over, apparently. If you make a victim go in alone, these people are going to talk over the person who is being victimized, and they're going to ignore their disabilities, especially if their friends or coworkers have done something wrong and they know it. Never make the victim go in alone. Ever. Ever. They will be lied to. It will take an arm and a leg to get anything done without a friend or family member. Who cares? We get to see 6 years of this. Being forced into public until I have another meltdown over living in hell. But you're fine with it. You're just going to talk over me and dismiss everything that I say. You dismiss my abilities before you ever find out what they are. You talk about yourselves and tell me about your uncles and your cousins who are autistic. You tell me about your friend Twitch, who's got Tourette syndrome. You tell me about all of your personal problems moving here and moving there. I am literally stating outright that I am crying for help, screaming for help. If you won't look at the examples of the hell that I go through every day trying to get help, I can give you an example and you won't fucking like it, guaranteed. None of the people I've given an example to fucking like it. How many of these people like being recorded and put on the internet? Meanwhile, I recorded it in its entirety and put it up in its entirety, including my opinions, which, as it turns out, are nearly always correct. But my opinions are based upon observation of the human race. You people are all nuttier than fucking squirrel turds. What the fuck makes you think forcing an at-risk adult to go do these things alone is okay? What makes you think that talking over them and giving them a sandwich, interrupting them for a sandwich or a drink of water or anything like that? No, you need to shut the fuck up and listen. You are their voice. You are their only voice. They will not be allowed to have a voice, and if you are unprepared, you need to shut up and listen. Instead of making suggestions, asking them if they've gone to this place or that place, or tell them that you'll look up another goddamn number. I don't need friends and family doing the same goddamn thing as these other pieces of shit I gotta turn in are. Eating up my finances, resources, and time. Then trying to make me feel like I'm a bad person because I need help. An autistic person might not be able to hear you over background noise. So when those cops are being dickheads next to my fucking window and they say they can't fucking hear me, well, that's fucking equality, and they can stand out there in the fucking cold or in the heat. Because I guarantee you in this car, it's going to be fucking colder most of the time. If it's hot out, this car is going to be hotter most of the time. The moment you start playing victim, that's making it about you. And I am fucking gone. I will leave. And I will expose the ever-loving fuck out of your dishonorable ass. Praise the Lord Almighty cheese and rice, or what the fuck ever your sayings are. What is it they do in the South to make every fucking insult okay? You guys may know this. Jesus fucking Christ. Everybody I know is fucking stupid. Bless their hearts. Did I use that properly or correctly? I'm just wondering, those of you from the South. Did I use the term bless their hearts correctly in that example? When you make your friend or family member go in alone, you make them vulnerable. You have made somebody who is going to be easy to victimize go in alone. You have made somebody who has communication difficulties that are no fault of their own and cannot be changed by medication. They cannot be changed by anything other than a positive environment, which means you need to shut the fuck up and listen to the victim. Step 1, listen to the victim. Step 2, don't interrupt. Step 3, the safety of the victim and the evidence is always the goal. Step 4, don't make it about you. Don't talk about yourself. Your opinions don't matter. When the person that you're talking to is ready for a response, they will cue you to respond. They will cue you that they are ready for you to respond by saying so. You don't have to ask questions. You need to shut up and listen. Step 5. Don't make them go in alone and unprepared. Don't make them go in alone and unprepared. They will be victimized. Never make them go in alone. Never make them go in alone. You are their only voice. Their disabilities will be ignored, and everything that they're going through will be ignored without you giving a shit. Yes, the law says they're supposed to, but are you making them do their jobs? No, you're doing the same things that they are, sending me around in circles by myself. To people who don't listen. My organizational skills are not that great, especially when I'm overwhelmed. When I am in a positive environment and people are understanding of the fact that I do need assistance and I do need them to speak up. You notice how before Natalie died, I've got all sorts of evidence of the places I went to for help. And after Natalie died, they all wanted to fucking hide. They all wanted to hide their shame for what they'd done. They all knew what they'd done, and they continued to do it. Once you start lying, you can't stop, can you? But then I get talked over so much that literally all I can do is generalize, because you give me fucking 30 minutes to an hour to try to rush in and fucking give you 6 years worth of fucking what has happened to me. But I gotta talk really fast like this so that I can get as much in as possible, because you're gonna interrupt me again and say, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you, or I'm sorry that happened to you, I'm sorry that happened to you, I'm sorry that happened to you. Have you talked to this place? Have you talked to that place? Have you talked to this place? Have you talked to that place? Have I ever told you about my uncle or my son or my cousin who's autistic? Hey, I got a son who's autistic. Don't try to make a connection with the victim. You don't need to. They're already willing to blabber to their heart's fucking content. You just have to listen. Part of being prepared is listening and recording the situation for their safety. Never make them go in alone. They will be taken advantage of, and word games will be played with them. And even if they record it by themselves, they're still going to get blown off. All of these agencies have committed crimes. All of these agencies have taken advantage of my disabilities. All of them know exactly what they're doing. There are consequences for all of these people for the crimes they're committing. They're very well invested in making sure that I'm not heard. They also know they have to mind their P's and Q's and wait on people to victimize me into another meltdown. Or victimize me into calling them again so that they can talk over me, disrespect me, and send me into another fucking meltdown. Talking over me, talking over me, talking over me. How can you be my voice if you can't hear my voice? If I have something to say, it is important for you to listen. It is important for you not to interrupt. It is important for you to understand that the victim and their evidence, the safety of the victim and their evidence, is always the goal. You don't have to ask them the goal. That should always be assumed. The victim is coming to you about a situation where they are decidedly unsafe, and you are blowing them off as if it doesn't matter and it's something that they can magically just ignore. I'm stuck in an illegal environment being victimized because I'm stuck in public. It's illegal for me to sleep here at night. Homeless sweeps here are horrible. You victimize the most victimized people in America into homelessness, and then you victimize them for being homeless, for having no support. And you're not being supportive if you're talking over the victim nonstop to talk about yourselves, or if you're making suggestions that show that you have not heard a word that they've said, despite the fact that they've said it repeatedly. You're killing us. You are killing us by being selfish.